Hello guys, this is Loopy Godinez here from UFC Strawweight Division. I only touch greatness here with these guys in the podcast.
What's happening, guys? Vanessa Little Monster here. UFC Strawweight coming up here on June 25th. We have a fight. I am here with the one, the only, super amazing I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Looking for the most beers on tap? Great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say hey sent you.
The #1 sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. Never stop. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike are taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver. Get down or lay down.
Amazing. After getting dropped by that big right hand, what composure, what warrior spirit. Oh my goodness.
Split for good measure, and why not hug the commissioner? The winner by submission due to an armbar, Vanessa Demopoulos.
I'm here with the winner. I'm very excited.
I'm here with Joe Rogan.
Listen, first of all, congratulations on your first UFC victory. Very happy. You deserve it. Please enjoy it. Congratulations. All your hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, Vanessa Demopoulos.
That's a first. That, I believe, is a first, and that is how you make your post-fight interview.
Training partner right here. June 25th, we're coming. UFC, ESPN. You guys better be watching. We're putting in the work. There was a 2-hour practice that we just put in right here. All wrestling, full go the whole time. Don't miss it. Better be there. Let's fucking go.
She's not doing 10 pounds from where she's at.
Time is ticking down, under a minute to go. And
She knows what she's feeling on the ground.
You bet. Oh my gosh, they are both bloodied, bruised, and battered.
You called it, man. Talk about Halloween's Eve battle royale.
And they will not stop throwing. Another shot go from the challenger. Unbelievable fight. I hope you're screaming in your living room right now. This is incredible. Oh, and Demopoulos just missed with that uppercut.
Demopoulos coming forward.
Both of these fighters will not stop. Fists are flying.
She landed that right and stuck her good.
Unbelievable. And the horn sounds. And if you are not a fan of women's MMA, you will be tonight. Unbelievable performance by both the champion and the challenger. And cutman David Maldonado, he's got some work to do.
Earners. Check, does he get paid by the cut?
There's the challenge.
For your winner by majority decision and new LFA Strawweight World Champion, Loopy Godinez.
And new strong.
Vanessa, born in Columbus, Ohio. Can you give us a little bit about your childhood, kind of, and when and how you got into fighting?
Yeah, I was born in Cleveland, and I was raised in Greece. for several years when I was younger. So Greek was actually my first language. I was raised by my grandparents. So like when I moved here to America, I like couldn't really speak English, and I was kind of like, I don't know, a little bit of an outsider. Like I always wore clothes that were very big because like my family was always like, oh, you'll grow into them, you know? So I was kind of a nerd in school, and I got into like a lot of fights because like, I don't know, I was bullied, and eventually I started sticking up for myself. So I ended up getting kicked out of school for fighting, and I had a little bit of an attitude problem growing up. So I guess it found me well when I found fighting. And originally I started fighting out of Columbus, Ohio. That's where I first started training Muay Thai. And then I helped to build an MMA gym, which is where they were like, all right, now you got to start fighting MMA. And I was like, no, I don't. And they're like, yeah, you do. So I started learning jiu-jitsu, fell in love with jiu-jitsu, took a few years off from MMA, and then came back, and here we are.
Sweet, sweet. And same question for you, Loopy, obviously born in Mexico. Can you give us a little bit about your childhood and when and how fighting started for you?
Yeah, well, since I was a little kid, I always been really into very active, like making kids cry by them or biting them, or you know, my mom had to be always behind me, making sure I wasn't making anyone cry at the playground. So I pretty much had that always. And when I was like 9 or 10, something like that, I was watching WWE lots, and then I was like, oh, pretty I've been always like a little fighter since I was a kid. And my mom put me into judo, and then for like about a year. Then obviously you grow up, and then I was like, my body started like changing, and then everything is hurting because everything is growing. Not that I grow a lot, but still it hurts, right? So then moved. Then I be MMA, something like that. Then that's how I started training.
Okay. Right.
Yep. And what's your favorite strike or submission for both
of you guys?
I'll say my hook, and I'm gonna go with armbar. Like exactly the transition that I did of second fight, Silvana. That's one of my favorite transitions to get an armbar.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, my favorite strike is I love elbows and head kicks. And then for my favorite submissions, I love doing arm bars. I have a lot of arm bar submissions, and that's like probably my best submission. But my favorite submissions are heel hooks. I love like heel hooks and and stripper choke. I love my stripper choke so much. Yeah.
Okay. And so did you two become friends after your guys' bloody battle in the LFA? Is that how it all started?
Yeah.
Kinda. Yeah. Like, so I like knew of Loopy before we fought. Like, I remember like when I had other fights in the LFA, and like me and Loopy would like talk in the DMs and stuff. And she was like super freaking kind, super nice, and very like encouraging, you know? And then like when she and I were gonna fight, obviously there was like silence, you know? And then after we fought, there was nothing but like love and respect. And I think like when you share such like intimate time with someone inside of the cage, the way that we had, you know, and like had such a crazy battle, like, I mean, you either freaking hate each other or like you just like you have this bond that nobody else can ever experience ever, you know? So, and I mean, we chose to just embrace it, you know, and she's such a sweet person. Like, I've said it in interviews before, but it's like, if you're not a fan of Loopy, like, I don't know if I could be a fan of you, you know? It's like, she's just like so freaking awesome. And she's so driven, and it's just really cool. I love that girl, man. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that was a hell of a fight too. Right? Go ahead.
if you were having a dream dinner party and could invite 3 famous people, dead or alive, who do you want to sit down with?
Ooh,
For example, I go with Tupac, Seth Rogen, and then
Tupac's not alive.
No, dead or alive. Dead or alive.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Dead or alive, and then I usually throw in like some Shakira or something for so I can see, something to look at.
Okay, I'll go with I love GSP, so let's start with that.
Okay.
Yeah, you?
I'm gonna go with. I've always wanted to meet Jim Rohn. He's no longer here, so that's a big one for me. Yeah.
I'll pick Michael Jackson. I feel like it will be interesting.
Yeah,
nice.
Ooh, that would be an interesting one. I'm gonna say Kim K or any of the Kardashians, just because they're fucking fascinating in what they've created.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll invite you, Vanessa.
And I invite Loopy. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
That should have been on my list. It should have been both of you guys.
Hey, duh.
And so, like, coming up the ranks and stuff, who would you guys say you kind of like looked up to or like mirrored after?
Interesting.
In the strawweight division,
or just in fighting in general? Yeah.
Like who was your inspiration?
That I watch, that I watch, and I was like, I want to do that just because of judo, and I did judo, and she did judo. Will be Ronda Rousey. That's kind of because of her. I kind of choose to do this. You know, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, she did judo before. Not that my judo was good as hers, obviously, but it was like a familiarity there, and then it's kind of how like it started clicking me, like, oh, I want to do that, and kind of how I. Yeah.
Okay. Good choice.
I think for me, it was a little bit more difficult looking up to people. I started training 12 years ago. And when I started training MMA, it wasn't really for like, I didn't even know what fighting was when I started. You know, I did it because, well, someone was talking shit to me as I was a pole dancer. And they were like, if you put, you know, half that skill that you put towards the pole into fighting, you might do something with your life. And I was like, teach me how to fight, you know? And for me, like, I started fighting because of all my aggression. And I just trained every day because, like, I didn't have anything else going on in my life. And there weren't girls to look up to. You know, I think the first girl that I kind of knew about was Cyborg, but I never had, like, even watched her fight. People just, like, talked about her, you know? And then I got to meet Zuela Frosto, who at the time was the Bellator champion. And so it was like, I don't know, like there wasn't like females for me to really like embody. And then when I heard of like Jose Aldo and like that was freaking cool, you know? And then like I heard of George St. Pierre, and then I got to train with him. And I got to train with Anderson, and it's like just like seeing these people up close and like getting to like implement like their spirit, I feel like helped me a lot. But I can't say that there was anyone who like I really looked up to and embodied as much as like I got to emulate them because I got to meet them.
Fair enough. And do either of you guys have a pre-fight ritual or routine that you guys follow? Like, is there something you guys have to do before every fight?
Loopy, go first.
Well, like when I feel really nervous, I just dance it off and, you know, just dance pretty much, warm up dancing. And that's kind of what I do every time I'm warming up. And I don't really have anything. I don't like that, to have something like that, just because what if one day you can't do it and then your brain is gonna like play games and now, oh, I didn't perform because I didn't breathe outside, but what about if they don't let you go outside or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just best to go with the flow. I always put in my mind, it's never gonna be perfect situation, so being uncomfortable, so that can with flow, and happens, right?
And we've definitely seen your dance moves. We've seen them on your all over the Instagram, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna piggyback off of exactly what Loopy said. Like, I dance also to warm up, and it's a part of my routine, even here in the gym. So if I think my dancing is a little bit different, Loopy's is more like super awesome salsa dancing, and mine's more like hair flipping stripper shit. Yeah, I love dancing. I think it's really fluid. It gets my body moving. It gets me engaged. It gets me ready. And that's my freaking zone. That's me feeling myself and being fucking a boss ass bitch. And then there have been times where I was like, man, I like going outside. I like breathing. I like doing this and that. And then it was during the quarantine, I remember the first time being at the UFC, they wouldn't even fucking let me go outside. So it was there are times where I've walked into tournaments for jiu-jitsu, for example, where I didn't have time to dance and I just got slammed into matches, and it's you're either fucking on or you're not, or I like to have coffee, but it's there's been times where I've actually had to compete without coffee, and I'm like, you just do that shit. So I've learned to not lean on things, but yeah, in my perfect storm, I have my cute little cup of coffee. I have my time outside to breathe, reset, be alone, be me. And then I have time to fucking dance and be awesome. So
Sweet,
yeah,
sweet.
And find my happy place.
If you were an animal, what would you be?
Man, I don't know. That's so hard. I think maybe a panda or a panther, because I'm very fucking pouncy and explosive, or a snake because I love jujitsu, and when I wrap people up, they're dude, you literally feel like a freaking anaconda. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. So maybe one of those animals,
Okay.
What about
And
you,
Loopy?
Loopy?
I'll go with a lion, something wild like that.
Okay. Okay.
We always ask that question because I look. My answer is dolphin because I look like a dolphin.
He's got the no hair and the big beak.
Yeah.
Dolphins are some of the most awesome animals in the whole world.
That's true. They got great personalities until you turn on them and force them to be angry.
Yeah, don't be angry.
No, exactly. And do you guys like to stand up or go to the ground in most of your fights?
I like to lay you up and then take you back down again, and then let's do it again until you cannot stand up anymore. That. I love my hands too. But I don't know. I could, maybe fuck you up a little bit, then drag you down, then let you come up, then let's go back down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanna play on the floor. Yeah. Yeah. But I came from stand-up world, so it's I end up staying on my feet a lot and being bam, 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 and then I'm let's go down here. Let's play on the floor. Yeah.
That's awesome. And for Loopy, a couple nice decisions, wins, obviously, in your last two against Ariane and Loma. Bring us back to those fights and what was going through your mind. I mean, fighting two great fighters, obviously.
Yeah, well, I'm constantly changing. My brain is constantly changing. I'm constantly learning new things, and I'm constantly adding new stuff that, every time I'm stepping in there, I want to look a little bit different, right? If you look at the Loma fight and then the Ariana fight, yes, I did similar things, but at the same time, not really, because I kept falling off from the first fight with Loma, right? And the second fight, like I just went back to the gym, I fixed whatever I was doing wrong, and then I went back and I did it better. You know, I wasn't falling from the back. I wasn't like losing positions or stuff like that. So, what was your question? I forgot.
No, that was basically just my question. I was just asking you a little bit about the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know, every fight I do, I want to look a little bit different or a little bit better than the fight before.
Okay. And obviously for Vanessa, a solid armbar. Last fight, big win against Silvana. Bring us back to that fight. And it looked like you were trying that a couple times in that fight.
Yeah. Well, I definitely, that's like my autopilot right there. So, and I mean, it was literally my autopilot because I like woke up on the ground, unfortunately for me, but I've fixed a lot of mistakes since that fight. But yeah, jiu-jitsu, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 10 years and I recently got my black belt, but like that to me is like, I'm a submission fighter. Like I'm a finisher. I started off in some of the only female submission only tournaments, like back when submission only was first beginning, you know, back when the Gordon Ryans, the Gary Tonins were like first hitting the scene. I was a part of that wave and that movement. So like I learned how to finish, you know, like I started off with point fighting in jiu-jitsu and then I went to the finishers. So that's like that's my instincts is to go for finishes, submissions, you know. Those are my chains. I chain for the finishes.
And obviously you're super excited and pumped up for your next fight coming up here pretty quick with Jun Youve.
Yes. 2 weeks away, man.
Yeah, June 25th.
Yeah. Do you know much about her before this? Before obviously the fight was named, or like have you followed her at all during coming up the ranks or anything?
No, I didn't follow her too much, but I did know about her because I was supposed to fight Ashley Yoder at one point, and Jin had fought Ashley. So I had looked at that fight, researched it, but from the other side, from the other perspective. So like I did know who she was, but now getting the opportunity to step in there, I'm very excited.
Sweet. Finisher.
And Loopy, what's next for you after 3 of your last 4 wins, obviously?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. Well, I hear something in September, but I don't have anything confirmed really. So we're just waiting on that. And right now I'm just, you know, training, getting stronger, getting better and stuff like that.
And we know you can fight on a week's notice. You've done it before.
That's right. That's right. She's always ready.
She's a savage.
Yeah. And Loopy, we see you're training with New Edge Alliance now with Ibby. How's that going so far? We actually know him pretty well just because it's so close to our house.
Oh, God. Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, we live right across the street, and we're sponsored by the John B. that is across the street from your workout place.
Oh, I see. Cool. Yeah, we've been working now for a few weeks now. Like it, you know, he put me through like really good workouts, and yeah, I like it. He's great.
And you're still with Titan, I'm guessing, right?
Oh yeah.
For sure. Sweet.
Is there one aspect of each of your fighting skills that you're working on and trying to improve on?
I just want my hands to be sharper.
Okay.
Yeah, and my kicking too. My kicking game needs to get better. Yeah.
For me, I'm working on energy conservation. I'm such a fucking like nut job when it comes to like just like I'm in that bitch. But you know, and I do know that I have cardio for 5 rounds. Obviously, I've done it a few times, but it's like energy expenditure is my biggest thing that I work on.
Okay. And well, what about dream venue? Do you have a dream venue that you wish to fight in one day?
I would like I don't know the name of the place, but Mexico City, where they fought. Yeah.
Madison Square Garden, bitches.
Yeah, right.
Wait, yeah.
That's what they always say.
MGM.
Yeah, when we ask all our other like sports people, they always say that MGM is or Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like once like you make it to one of those shows, like there's like pinnacle places. Like there's dream destination spots, you know, like I want to fight in Australia, you know, like I also want to fight in China. I want to travel the freaking world, dude. But I think like when it comes to like places where, you know, like, bitch, I'm here, like that's the one for me. Like Madison Square, MGM, those types of places.
How about a dream fight?
For both of you, is there a dream fight?
My dream fight.
When everyone has the motherfucking belt for me one day.
Yeah.
That's my fucking dream fight.
Yeah, but if it wasn't in something just to go crazy, it will be Cyborg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't right. It was just like it will be cool to do it, but not really.
Sweet. And if there was a karaoke contest with big prize money, you had to sing one song. What song are you guys singing?
My walkout song, Mark Anthony, Vivi Vida.
Okay.
Oh man. No, that's too hard of a question because I don't even know. Like, that's so fun to think about. What is that one song like? Strumming my pain with his feet.
Oh yeah.
Killing Softly by the Fugees.
Yeah. I am very much not a singer, so but I can just like give it my heart and soul. So I feel like that was that anything that's got like that heart and soul in it.
What advice would you give to young ladies that are starting MMA or any young people starting MMA?
I'll say, work hard, keep your head down, and just work hard. And stop shit. That's it. Just do your work and fight and do it again.
Yeah, I would definitely say, fall in love with what you're doing and know that it's not for anybody else, it's for you. So every day that you get to walk in there, like you're not competing against the person next to you. You're not competing against someone who's already been on chapter 7. You're on chapter 1, so live that truth and be against yourself every single day. Grow, appreciate the inches that you're growing at, because even when you do hit chapter 10, there's still inches. And you still have to find the little victories and the small celebrations along the way. Don't beat yourself up too much.
So for both of you guys, what was it like for your first time meeting Dana White?
It was cool, I mean, I didn't really go to talk to him or anything. I would just shake his hand or whatever, that's it. But it's cool, it's someone that you see in TV and then you're like, oh, I want to be in that show one day, or I want to be in the UFC, and then you see all these people, and then now all of a sudden you are right there with them. It's like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. But they're still a human being. Like, I don't really idolize anyone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not
you're doing your thing, and that's great. Now I'm here with you. So good for me.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, it was like, I think, I've met Dana a few different times, but it was never from the perspective of like, I am your employee and now here I am, so for me, it was more of like a pivotal moment of like, I'm here, I've made it. Like now I get to work for you, so like, I remember I went out there and the time that it was more like official, I went out there and I did the splits, right? Like for my weigh-ins. And then I went and I shook his hand and he was like, welcome to the show. You are now a fan favorite. Like something of that nature. I was like, let's fucking go. It was a really, really big deal for me. So because it was like the recognition of my boss, who is now like in charge of the decisions that are made for my career and something that I've dreamed of for so long. So it was a big deal to me.
And when Joe Rogan actually picked you up, though, that was when I noticed, like, holy, you got a great personality, and I've been a fan of you ever since that moment.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I couldn't help it, man. Like, even like when I saw Joe Rogan, because I remember like I was like turn around, I was like talking to my coaches, I turn around, I was like, oh my God, it's Joe Rogan. Like, that's another like major freaking moment, and it's like, for me, like those are moments that like, man, like there's no going back from that. Like I'm here, I've made it, I am making my mark today. Like I have dreamed of these fucking moments forever, like I've worked my fucking ass off for these moments, and like you can't take this away from me. Like I'm so excited to be here, and yeah, man, like that's how I felt. I feel like a lot of people, I hope that a lot of people kind of feel that way when they meet celebrities like that, so it's like that's how I felt. And when I meet fans, like I hope one day a fan is that excited to meet me, and I want to be able to give them what Joe Rogan gave me, like, yeah. Like,
it's happening.
Like that whole experience, yeah.
Yeah. And for
it's definitely happening.
Ladies, how do you guys like getting fan mail? I know a lot of people send out fan mail nowadays, asking for your autographs and stuff. How do you guys take it?
Oh, it's great. I love it when, I get to the gym and it's like, oh, look what you got. They get all the bills and I get the cool stuff. That's yeah, I love it.
That's so cool.
Meeting new people, and like when I get the mails and get to sign them and send it back, and there's pictures, like kids or teenagers or adults. It's just so cool.
Yeah. Same. I think it's awesome. Like I love it. I love getting to meet fans. I love like sometimes like they send like the cutest little letters where they're just like, oh, like I've been such a fan of your blah blah blah, and they're like detailed letters of like awesomeness. I'm just like, like what can I sign for you? Yes, here, anything.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
What does your training schedules each look like on an average day?
I would say morning and night, and if I'm in camp, I'll do 2 or 3 times a day too. Depends, it depends what's the date and the coaches, and it just goes, changes a lot, but for sure 2 times a day, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I train a lot, so I'm definitely in the gym like 3 to 4 times a day. And like towards the end of my camps, like they start kicking me out a little bit because they're like, go home, like rest, do some normal stuff. I'm like, what is normal stuff? Like, I don't even know. So yeah. But they're like, it's like an ebb and flow, So it's like some sessions are like intense, and then some are like super chill, and then some are intense. So yeah.
I got 2 more for sure.
Yeah, right? Go ahead, right? Go ahead,
okay.
Right?
I was checking to make sure you don't have any.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Loopy, you've got 2 awesome sisters that do wrestling as well, right? They're starting to make a big name for themselves. How was growing up wrestling with them?
Yeah, well, they just started wrestling, I want to say 6 years ago. Okay. And, it's great. We get to train together, get conditioning together. And, we have such a good relationship that, it's just everything makes it better. We, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm so happy that we get to share, similar stuff.
Could you see them getting into MMA?
Maybe one. Anna, I don't think so. Yeah. I see that a little bit more in her, and maybe after the Olympics, they both want to make it to the Olympics. So let's see what happens after that. But right now, they're just focusing on that.
Right.
And usually after a fight, the UFC makes you leave a piece of clothing or something behind. Do you have something that you like to leave behind?
I leave the shirt most of the time. Yeah. Maybe the next one, I will leave the shorts. Yeah.
Vanessa?
Yeah, I keep leaving the shirt. It makes me sad. I'm like, I don't want to leave anything behind. Like, I want my stuff, man. Like, why you gotta take something with my name on it? Like, can I give you like a shoe? Like,
we had one person. MMA guy say that he wears like the towel around his neck, and then he just gives him back the towel at the end.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to give away any of his gear.
That's smart.
That's very fucking smart. I might do that shit. That way, all of a sudden, all the spiders are walking out with towels.
Yeah.
Remember where you heard it first.
Yeah, I want to try to do that next time. Good call.
And okay, what's the most important skill in MMA?
I'm gonna go with wrestling.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with cardio.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because I feel like like when your cardio is shit, man, you can't do anything.
Yeah, I actually where I don't know what happened in my it was big, but then I gassed out in the first minute. That was the most scary thing I have ever done. Be tired in a fight, and then you can even like hands up, like my legs. You can even run away from the you're getting beat up.
Yeah.
Again, that's something that I'm like, never again. Every time I work really hard for that, and I'm never gonna get tired. And yeah, I guess second. Let's do wrestling second. Right.
Okay.
You still watch wrestling? Because there's a wrestler named Thunder Rosa that I think you guys would be a good WWF.
I love her.
wrestler.
She's the sweetest person ever.
Yeah, that'd be a nice AEW Wrestlemania big time moment one day.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. Actually, maybe after MMA, I would like to do some of that just to say that I did it, because when I was a little kid, I always wanted to do it. So might as well just get it done. So just to say that I did it.
Yeah.
I actually used to train for the WWE. Like years ago, I was going out for the WWE trials, and they still send me letters all the time. But I chose fighting instead. I think I could definitely go back to it at any time, but this is like, you can't focus on both. You definitely can't. You have to focus on one.
100%.
Go ahead, Mike.
Guys, I love you so much, but I have to train.
Yes.
I have to go.
Yeah.